I don't know how many of you watch when I do the Minecraft random loot drop stuff, but I feel like in those videos, I'm always saying, oh my God, everything becomes a different variant of copper. Yeah, well, if I ever do random loot on the next version of Minecraft, it's going to be taken to a whole new level. I think at this point, half of the outstanding blocks in Minecraft are some kind of variant of copper. So welcome to a new Minecraft snapshot where there's copper everything. You can see we have chains, we have lanterns, we have bars. Let me show you the crafting recipes. You can probably guess most of them, but they do use the copper nuggets. So I guess that's one of the reasons why they added the copper nuggets, so there can be some recipe consistency for things like chains and lanterns. So I guess let's start off with probably the most unexpected, which is the copper torches. So regular torch, and then you add a copper nugget, and then you get yourself a green flame to go with your torch, which is a cool variant. It's something that I knew would be a thing, but it does exist. And then obviously once you have your copper torches, then you can turn that into a copper lantern by surrounding that with some copper nuggets, and just like everything else with copper, and why everything that I ever get in random loot drops is going to be copper now, is you obviously have the different oxidation states, and they can be waxed or unwaxed. So every block has 8 different variants that occupy potential random loot drops in my random loot drop videos if we ever update to 1.21.9.3.4. Never asymptote of 1.22. We're never actually going to have version 1.22 ever. It's never going to make it there. That's Minecraft 2.0 at that point. Okay, anyway, the chains, which again you could probably guess based on how you do it with copper, is just with 2 copper nuggets, or how you do it with iron, I should say. 2 copper nuggets and a copper ingot, and then you get the copper chain, which, again, of course, has the 4 different oxidation states. These are all waxed because I didn't want them changing after I set it up. And then these are the different oxidation states on the lanterns, all the waxed variants. And finally, as you would probably guess, based on iron bars, the way that you make copper bars is with 6 copper ingots, and then you get 16 copper bars, the exact same yield for the same recipe number of ingots as you do with iron. And then, once again, all of the oxidation states and waxed or unwaxed. And this is what they look like when they're put together. There's no like gradient between the two, which would be kind of cool, you know, if they did a little bit of a block blend, but I'm sure mods will cover that. Somebody free him, he's stuck. Don't worry, guy, I got you. Can't believe they spawned these copper cages with the villages. Just kidding, I put these here, but I freed him. Now he has to walk the world wondering where a copper chest is because I used a spawn egg instead of spawning him with the blocks that create a copper chest. He doesn't have a purpose in his life. What are you gonna do? I've given you a sock. You are free. Okay, anyway. Yeah, just like a bunch of copper stuff, new copper stuff in the snapshot. That's pretty much it. There are little technical changes if you want to look at the changelog. I will link it in the description. Sorry, all I can think about is the random loot drops, because as if there wasn't already enough copper. I just want to search copper here, and decent amount of blocks that exist. It covers like a wide, like probably a couple different logs worth of items that can be made here. But anyway, I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense to be able to use copper for other things. It provides continuity. So yeah, make sure to like the video, playlist for other updates if you missed anything going on in 1.21.9, never 1.22. And I will see you next time.